Am I the a-hole for saying my 11 years old stepdaughter isn't allowed around my infant again until she gets therapy? This situation is harder than a normal situation due to us having full custody of my stepdaughter and her only seeing her bio mom once every 6 months. However, I have told my husband I'm going to stay elsewhere until he checks his daughter into therapy. For a bit of context, I have been involved in her life since she was 5, and we have had full custody of her for 4 years. I gave birth 5 months ago, and there's been things happening that I'm not okay with and never will be okay with. These things were not present prior to the baby arriving, so I know it's due to the baby. Such as she is in complete competition with the baby, based on looks alone. Like she will be holding the baby and say, "I'm so much prettier than you. You will never be prettier than me. You're just jealous that I'm the gorgeous one," etc. All in a baby voice. When my daughter smiles at her, she looks at me and her dad and says, "See, even she agrees with me. She knows she will never be as gorgeous as I am." We have asked her why she feels like she's in competition with a baby and not for the normal thing like attention, but physical looks instead, and she always says things like, "I'm not in competition with her, there's no competition. I'm just gorgeous and need to make sure she knows." The other thing is that I breastfeed, and nearly every time that she holds the baby, she comments on my daughter trying to nurse off her. Like if my daughter grabs her shirt, she's immediately saying things like she's trying to take my shirt off and get to my melons, and makes comments to the baby saying, "You're being inappropriate. Do not try to take my clothes off. You're weird. Those are my melons." And she's 100% serious, like she's really trying to accuse an infant of trying to strip her. I've talked to her about it. I've talked to my husband about it. I've talked to both of them at the same time. I've blatantly said that her attitude surrounding the baby makes me uncomfortable and untrusting, but apparently I'm blowing this out of proportion because it's not even a big deal. It is though, to me anyways, because it's every time she's near the baby. But today, I had gone out to the car real quick, and when I came back in, my husband told me that his daughter had the baby in her room. I go in and see my stepdaughter laying with the baby in a nursing position with her back turned to me. I walk in and ask what is going on, and she immediately acts disgusted and says, "She's trying to take my shirt off again," and moves away from the baby and physically pulls her shirt down, big t-shirt that she had pulled up. I grabbed my baby and started packing. Husband comes in and asks where we are going. I tell him me and the baby are going to stay elsewhere until he gets his daughter into therapy because of what I just witnessed and the fact that I don't trust her around my infant anymore. I told him I had tried talking to him and her both several times and I'm done talking. He gets her help or I'm not coming back home. He says I'm blowing this out of proportion and he's sure that it wasn't what it looked like and that I'm ignorant for being willing to take the baby away from him and his daughter during crucial bonding months. I told him if he had taken me seriously to begin with, then it wouldn't have come to this. He can visit. She cannot, until she's in therapy and working through her obvious issues. Am I the a-hole?